If you ask any wizard whether it's hard to do magic, many will tell you yes, but sometimes magic is soft too. Let's talk about it. Today we're going to talk about magic systems. Specifically, we're going to talk about my favorite hard magic systems. And I hope to follow this up with a soft magic systems video. But stay tuned, that's coming right up here on Drew's Book Reviews. Good day, and welcome to another episode of Drew's Book Reviews. Let's talk about hard magic systems today. This will be the first in a two-part video series. I hope to get another video out at some point about my favorite soft magic systems. But let's talk a little bit about my favorite hard magic systems today. Before we get into it, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. You know the drill. Let's talk about it, shall we? So first of all, we kind of need to define what exactly I mean by hard magic system. Now, essentially, a hard magic system has specific rules that need to be followed in order for the magic to operate. So there's certain things that need to be done, certain elements that must be involved. And Brandon Sanderson, as we know, is quite well known for his development of his magic systems, and they're pretty much all hard magic systems within the Sanderson Cosmere. So if you're a Sanderson fan, that's the kind of thing we're talking about. A hard magic system with set rules for the operation of the system, whereas a soft magic system doesn't really have any rules. It just exists. Lord of the Rings is a great example of that. There aren't really any rules for Gandalf's magic. Magic just there. It just operates, and there are just wizards that perform magic. But today we're going to talk about hard magic systems and what some of my favorite hard magic systems are. So the first one I want to talk about today is chromaturgy. This is the magic system that we get in the world of Lightbringer by Brent Weeks. This is actually a really cool magic system because what it actually does is it focuses its magic around the entire light spectrum. In fact, so much of the world is covered with this light magic or chromaturgy. An entire world has been developed and a religion built around the very idea of light being magic, and their savior is called Lightbringer. And the whole system is those who have the ability to use chromaturgy or use the magic have the ability to take this light and split it and form it into a physical substance called Luxon. And I think that this is just a really cool way to deal with the magic of the world, because when you actually get down to it, light is in effect just a state of energy. And as we know, energy can be changed into different forms. This is why we have different states of matter, and matter at the very heart of it is just energy. So taking that light energy and forming it into something more physical, this Luxon, of different types of Luxon, whether that's red or green or blue or violet or any type of color within the color spectrum, and using that to form solid objects in the real world, I just think that is a really cool idea. I think that is a really awesome type of magic system, and I love how that operates within the world of Lightbringer. It's just, to me, it's just really, really cool. So I really like this magic system. I think it's pretty creative personally, and I love how we're using like light and turning it into something solid light. I mean, it's just a crazy idea, but it works in the story, and it really is so good. Definitely worth checking out. If you haven't read Lightbringer, it's a fantastic series, and I highly, highly recommend it. The next hard magic system I want to talk about is from the book series by Django Wexler. It is the Shadow Campaigns. In this series, the magic in this world is manifested through demonic possession, which is just so cool. I mean, who doesn't love a good demonic possession? Demons in my stories, that's cool stuff. I love getting that into the books and stories that I read, having those demons present. But this one, where demons actually possess you, you must call the name of the demon to allow it to possess you so that you can gain the powers of that demon. And that is just such a cool, kind of creepy idea, but a cool idea. And depending on which demon you call, that will determine what type of magical ability you have as a result of that. And I just think that the whole concept of demonic possession when it comes to magic systems and having the magic operate through demonic possession is just really, really cool. I love how that's done. I think Django Wexler. I think Django Wexler did a fantastic job with this development of this magic system and using the demonic possession as the gateway to the world of magic, which we find within this story. And that is just really, really cool. This series starts with the 1,000 Names. And overall, great story. I enjoyed the book series. I've actually read it twice, once on Audible and once in physical form first time through, and I really did enjoy it. So if you like demonic possession, that's probably the story for you, because that's just a cool magic system. Next up on my list of favorite hard magic system is the Powder Mage world by Brian McClellan. So in this world, we've got some crazy stuff where magic is actually done through snorting gunpowder. I had to pick this as my favorite because one of my favorites, because I just find it so funny. The very idea of sniffing gunpowder to get magic. Like, what's up with that? And it's just crazy using the gunpowder as a basis for the magic within the system to be able to do all kinds of crazy stuff. But there's more than that involved within the Powder Mage's magical system. It's not just the gunpowder. There are gods with extreme powers within this world too. And one of the series, Gods of Blood and Powder, is one of the series within this world, this Powder Mage world that Brian McClellan has created. And it was unique to me. It was different. I never encountered a magic system based on snorting an explosive powder before, which was just crazy to me and hilarious in its own way. And just, it's awesome. The Powder Mage as a whole is a pretty awesome world and series. If you haven't read it, check it out. I'm pretty sure I have some reviews on the channel somewhere here with respect to the Powder Mage. But just demonic possession and gunpowder, these are definitely some of my favorites, and I'm really enjoyed the Powder Mage trilogy, Powder Mage world, and I might get back to it at some point. But yeah, snorting gunpowder to get magical powers, it's crazy to me. This brings us to the last two on this list of my favorite hard magic systems. And let me know in the comments down below if you're actually surprised by this, because you shouldn't be if you know this channel and you know me. Anyway, my last two are from the Cosmere. Now, I do want to say, with the Cosmere, maybe the whole Cosmere itself can be considered one giant massive magic system, but what's really cool about the Cosmere, and if you haven't gotten into the Cosmere, you definitely should check out Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere. But let's talk about a little bit about how the Cosmere works to get into this magic system. So at the beginning of the Cosmere, the god Andalnesium was shattered and broken into shards. So many different pieces, and different pieces of gods or shards landed on different worlds. Some worlds got more than one piece of god, others only got one, some got none. But this shattering or splitting and destruction of god, setting pieces of god, which are the powers and the magic of the Cosmere, to be left in ruins on different planets, and each planet having its own unique type of magic associated with it, sometimes more than one type of magic depending on how many shards might have landed there, is the basis for the different magic systems within the greater Cosmere. And that very concept in and of itself is just cool. But in terms of the Cosmere magic systems themselves, I of course had to go with Mistborn, where we have the metallic arts. The thing with the Mistborn magic system is it's actually split into basically 3 different types of magic all around the same base or foundation. So there is Allomancy. Allomancy is the magic system in which you could burn or basically ingest and digest different types of metals. And depending on which type of metal you are burning will give you certain different types of power. But not everybody is able to burn all the metals. Some can burn 1, some can burn 2, and very rarely one person can burn all the metals. And each different type of metal is going to give you a different power behind it. So you got one often known as Tin Eyes. So this gives you the ability to enhance your senses, see dramatically farther, hear better, that kind of thing. We have metals that enable you to push on some metals or pull on others. This almost gives you the ability to fly. As long as you could push away from a base metal, you can lift yourself as high in the air as you need to go. Often we'll have people, Allomancers will use coins as a base metal or a coin shot, and they could make metal fly, or they could use a coin to push off the ground and fly up into the sky. There's metals that allow you to soothe other people's emotions, or metals that allow you to push on their emotions and enhance them and select different emotional states to manipulate. So it's just all around there. It's just really cool, this idea of burning metals to obtain your powers, and allomancers have this ability. And then we have the next kind of metal based magic within this world, which is hemalurgy, which basically gives you the power to imbue certain magical properties, elements, or abilities into another person, but you got to stab them through with these spikes, and they've got to have these metallic spikes embedded into their body, and depending on where those spikes are embedded, or not where, sorry, what type of metal those spikes are made of will determine what type of powers that person gets as a result of that spike being put in to your body. And it can be really disturbing and freaky, because this can be used not just to give people power, but take their power from them. And often what will happen is the hemalurgist will actually take somebody who has power, like an allomancer, and will stab them through with the spike, shoving it through their body into somebody else's body to take their power from them and give it to somebody else. And it's just this really kind of creepy, grotesque, morbid way of performing the magic in this world and giving people powers, and it really is kind of creepy. But I love it. I love it because that's what makes it so awesome, is this creepy factor to it. That is the fun part about it, as far as I'm concerned. And finally, we have Furicaming. So this part of the magic system within the greater Mistborn world is the ability to store power within metal objects. Now, the difference here is that you must store that from your own body. You can store up health, but if you want to store up health, you must spend the time being sick first. You can store up strength, but to do so, you must spend time being incredibly weak first in order to store that strength. You can store all kinds of different aspects. You can store vision, but you must spend the time not being able to see well or being blind. Same thing with hearing. In order to store up these powers when you might need it, you must spend a time being the opposite of whatever power it is you're trying to store up. And Furicamists will often wear rings or bracelets or different things of jewelry around their bodies in order to hold and store this power for when they might need it the most. This could absolutely come in handy, but it has its drawbacks in that you have to spend time being the opposite of what you're trying to store in order for it to work well, in order for you to store that power. But it's still just a really cool way to look at the magic system and metallic arts, as I call it, or the metallic magics. And I love that about Mistborn. It is such an awesome magic system, and definitely one of my favorites. I love the Mistborn magic system. It is just so awesome. And then last but not least, we finally have, yes, another Cosmere magic system. We're going to go with the Stormlight Archive, or the Stormlight magic system. This is a really interesting and unique magic system on the world of Roshar in the greater Cosmere. So beyond that, and on Roshar, the magic is highly involved, not just with the Stormlight itself, because you must have Stormlight as a source of power or energy to fuel the magic itself within this world. You also have to be bonded with these Spren, which are basically the spiritual manifestations of different ideas and concepts within our own world. And anybody who has the ability to access the magical powers must be bonded with a particular type of Spren. And depending on the type of Spren you're bonded with, that is going to determine what type of powers you have, which leads to different orders of the Knight's Radiance, which in and of itself is a whole nother video. Maybe I should do a video on the different orders of the Knight's Radiance. We'll see. Anyway, it's still pretty awesome the way all this works, is because the Stormlight itself, this is a world ravaged by hurricane-like storms across the planet on a constant basis, and the light, or the lightning, the power, the energy from these storms is what fuels the magic and fuels the bond of the Spren to the respective magic user or Knight Radiant or whatever you want to call them. And it's through that magical bonding, through that light, that powers their abilities, which is just so cool. I love how it kind of has different aspects to it. It's not just bonding with the Spren, it's not just the Stormlight. You have to be worthy of your Spren for one. The Spren has to deem you worthy, but you also have to be able to obtain or fuel, give that magic through the bond energy through the Stormlight, which is pretty freaking awesome. I mean, Sanderson's just amazing when he comes up with his magic systems, and I love it. So good. I really enjoyed Stormlight Archive. I'm still enjoying Stormlight Archive. I can't wait for the 5th book in Stormlight Archive. It is going to be awesome. I love the magic system within the Greater Cosmere. The metallic arts from Mistborn and the Stormlight Archive, these two different magic systems in and of themselves are just awesome. Definitely two of my favorite hard magic systems. And all these magic systems I've talked about today are my favorite hard magic systems that we have. And I just absolutely love these systems, and I really enjoy reading them. I'm personally a bigger fan of hard magic systems over the softer magic systems, but still pretty awesome stuff. So let me know down below, what are some of your favorite hard magic systems? I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And I really look forward to hearing from you about what some of your favorite hard magic systems are. So let me know in the comments down below. And as always, until next time, keep on reading. Bye!